This one is about being someone who does what they say they'll do. Don't promise things and then not give. So do what you say you'll do, deliver the goods every time. Build a reputation for being solid consistency. Now, amateurs work until they get it right. Professionals work until they can't get it wrong. So you want to be a professional, this is what you're aiming for. Think of someone you know who is completely dependable. Someone in your life, maybe a family member, maybe a teacher, maybe the coach. They are completely dependable. You trust them. If you give them a task to do, they'll do it. They're the gold standard. So that's what you want to set yourself to be. Someone who's dependable, someone who's the gold standard. Sometimes we hear this, oh, I could do this, I should do this, I might do this. They're all doubts. So stop talking about what you could do, should do, and might do. Just do it. Get in the boat and leave the harbor. Trust your own judgment and get on with it. Be the person who finds solutions and creates opportunities, not the one who says it can't be done. If you act and fail, then you will learn from your experience and improve. But mistakes, okay, this is something I had to make sure all the players understood. They will make mistakes, and accept that they'll happen. The important thing is how you react to them and how you deal with them. The idea is to learn from them, adapt what you've done so that next time it will be better. Maybe you'll solve it quickly. Maybe it will take a bit of time. Maybe they'll need a few goes before you get things right. But if you stop doing it and play safe, you won't progress. So to be successful, you need to be willing to fail. You don't want to fail, of course, but mistakes themselves won't harm you. The complacency will. The idea of keeping everything so safe. And let your coach help you with failure. If you do fail at something, the coach is there to help you to get it right. Okay, now the title I put here, he who's not busy being born is busy dying. And I'm probably the only one who realizes that's from a Bob Dylan song. But he's someone who, if you look at that, basically, if you're not keen to learn, you're on the way down. So we'll always have an appetite to get better and to learn. No matter how good you are, you can always get better. So be busy at seeking relentless improvement. Stay curious, stay wanting to learn. If you don't keep up with that process, you'll get left behind because others will overtake you. If you reach a plateau in your work, then you'll do the same today as you did yesterday and get the same result. And that's the quote from Einstein. Now, I know he wasn't much of a football fan, and he certainly wasn't a soccer coach, but his definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So, okay, if we're not getting it right, we need to do something to change it. We need to have players who are ready to work close to the edge of their capability, because that's the way you'll then push yourself a little bit further. So for relentless improvement, you need to be close to the edge, not stuck in a comfortable coasting position. If you only keep everything happy in what you can do, obviously in a game, you don't want to make lots of mistakes, but in training, while you're preparing for a game, while you're working hard in the week, you have to look to be at the edge of what you're good at and try and get a bit better. And then if you start to think you know it all, you've done it all before, you've nothing new to learn, you're on the way to being a dinosaur, stagnating, you're being boring. Now this one, be better tomorrow than you were today. When I had the under 18 team, our first team captain at Liverpool was Steven Gerrard. And I remember he'd come up sometimes and look at the training at the academy. And at one time I brought the players in and we had a chat and Steven was there. And the thing he said to them was, every day he goes to first team training. His aim was to leave the training in the afternoon better than when he arrived. And that was true for him every day. He wanted to arrive as a certain player, but at the end of training, he wanted to be better. And that was someone who was at the top of his trade as captain of the club. And it was a great message to give to the youngsters. Be better tomorrow than you were today. Um, and sometimes you have to look at things differently, okay? You might see other options. Don't be stuck in one rut that you always think, oh, this is the way to do it. There are sometimes other solutions. And if you look to do it, you'll find solutions instead of excuses. Um, if you view a rainy day as a bad day, then you're writing off in England more than 100 days, maybe not the same in the Caribbean. But in England, just because it's raining, we get on with it and we get out and train, we play in the rain. So you have to train in it. So it's not the weather that makes it a good or a bad day, it's up to you. Ideas, new ideas. You can get ideas obviously from your coach, from watching other teams play, watching players on television, all sorts. You can get them from your teammates. So keep your eyes and mind open. Every place is an ideas factory. The very best and most effective ideas are often counterintuitive. You didn't really see that as an option, but it's just come into your mind because you've been open to let it. And to excel and become the best you can be, you need to be able to adapt. Even those who make the first team, they might play for 10 years at a club. All through that time, they will be adapting because things are changing. The opposition play a different way and so on. You have to then be ready to adapt your play and learn through that. So you're seeking to improve and through innovation, meaning each time there's a new idea. The perfect game. Everyone likes to think, oh yeah, they turn up to a game, it's going to be perfect. What if you arrive and the pitch is poor, it's bumpy, it's muddy, it's not a good pitch? You might then think, oh, this is no good, but you mustn't because you're going to play on that pitch and all the players who play on that pitch have the same pitch. It's the same for everyone. So you haven't planned to play in that situation, but instead of thinking negatively about the pitch, think about the challenge it offers you to adapt your game to the new circumstances. It's all about you. It's never the pitch. Okay, what happens to you is meaningless unless you assign some meaning to it. Your view is your reality. So each time things are happening, you need to take a stock of that. And your attitude is how you look at the work. If your attitude isn't working, then get another one. Think differently. Think positively. And try something else. Don't get stuck in a rut thinking, oh, things aren't working for me. No, get there and be a different attitude to get you out of that rut because it's all there for you. And if you don't like what you're doing, then change what you're doing. You have to be prepared to change the way you think. If you only think one way and it's not working, then you can say you tried your best. Blame someone else because you did your bit. That's no good. You've got to then adapt. So if you change and look for different ways, then you're still in control. It's not that you're following someone else's plan, it becomes your plan. So if what you've been doing hasn't been working, find another way, search for another way, try something different. So let go of the feeling you're the victim. It's not about bad luck. You take charge of the situation because pretty soon you'll be through playing soccer and you'll be like me. You'll finish, you look back. And you don't want to be just thinking, looking back without any memories, any top memories. So while you're making this journey, you want it to be the best you can be. And if you try a lot of different things, some will work and some won't. There will be failure, and that's okay. It's normal. We mentioned about making mistakes. Things don't always work out. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You've got to then adapt. So you're not looking at the world in that singular way. Remember, if the pitch isn't right, it's never the pitch. Now, your past successes, sometimes you've done something good, fine, hold on to it, but don't just get stuck with that. You might need to adapt even the good stuff you're good at. You may need to let go of what you've been successful with to gain further success, so you don't get stuck as that player who just does this much. Can you do a bit more? You need a balance to keep hold of tradition, what you're good at, but to move on and stay ahead of the wave because the game will be changing, different challenges. Challenge your usual successful processes, keep up to date and keep fresh. Tomorrow's reality will require new solutions and it creates new opportunities. So you need to be a person who accepts the new opportunities. In fact, you're keen to find new ones because it's making you better. We talk sometimes about thinking outside the box, and that's true, you need to, but you also sometimes need to be back in the box where you've been successful. So you don't just discard everything that you've had just because you're moving on. You take with you into the new experiences. You look to take with you what you've been good at. That's the stuff from in the box to out the box. In a way, so you can be both the tortoise and the hare. You don't have to make just one choice. Take everything you've been good at and add to it with the new stuff that's outside the box at the moment, but you're going to learn how to do things. So you're looking to innovate, you're continually looking to improve your core issues, as well as working on your poor areas, if you want to call them. You also need to improve what you're good at. Now, for instance, I've had players who've been a centre back who are very good at heading in the air. They're very good on defensive headers. Maybe they're not so good with their feet in terms of control and passing. So they understand to work on that. But the thing that's got them into the team and a possible chance of a professional career is they're very good at defensive heading. So they have to keep that at the top peak. They have to improve that as well, because that's what they're known for, as well as improving their control and their passing and their play with the ball at their feet. So you have to work on both. The expectation, okay, you want to have an expectation. It needs to be real, but you expect to connect, aim to improve, work with attention and intention. If you've got some aim, sort out in your head what you're working towards, because then you can control how well you're doing. Are you getting towards there? And pay attention to the detail. The small things count. This one about going all in. In a game of poker, I'm not a gambler, but I know that in poker, going all in means betting everything, a metaphor for depth of commitment. So you need to be fully committed to the process of the coaching that you've been given, the games that you've got, all of the process that you're involved in to become a better soccer player. Lower league teams can beat higher teams because their players go all in, and I've experienced that. I've been in a supposedly a lower team, and we've beaten the higher teams because they haven't gone all in. We did. So you go all in to be the best at what you can do. Why would you not want that? Why would you dare not want that?